17 members and associates of the Hells Angels are facing criminal charges in a violent attack.
Federal agents allege the outlaws sold drugs, traded firearms, and engaged in insurance fraud and even tampered with government witnesses.
We have learned there is cell phone video as well as surveillance video of evidence in this attack.
The U.S. Attorney characterized today's raids as historic, the largest federal bust on organized criminal gang activity.
Retaliation is common for crimes involving biker gangs. However, it could happen anywhere because of how interconnected gangs have become nationwide.
The 3-year investigation resulted in 42 federal indictments on a variety of charges, including racketeering, money laundering, drugs, gambling, insurance fraud, and extortion.
There's a bunch of bikers up here, and they're shooting guns and stuff. I need the police now.
But on foot going towards 2nd Street. Okay, receive.
Then you see a pack of Hells Angels going by, people are going to want to look. Next thing you know, cars. Because they're just staring at us and not paying attention to stop traffic.
If you wanted to break the law on an everyday norm, you should have joined the street gang. That's what they're known for. That's what they do. You're not allowed to steal cars on my block. We steal those cars.
I mean, it was so bad by us in Vegas. I was in the pool swimming, and the guys came back. Hey, Pee-wee, the cops are here. They want to talk to you. I said, well, go talk to them. Find out what they want. And they came back. They go, they want to talk to you.
Typically, if you leave the club, if you haven't been in for 10 years, you're automatically out back.
Got put out in 2006. Back in 2007, wound up going into Cannon. 2011. Came out of there. I had 4.5 years to walk off with zero support from that club.
Welcome to this episode of Chatting with Staxx. I'm your host, Bill Staxx, and today we got a lot to talk about. There's a lot going on. Before we get started, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you can get my videos every time they drop. Make sure you tell your mother's, brother's, sister's friend about Chatting with Staxx. I appreciate it. Hope you guys had a safe holiday. There's a lot going on, a lot of motorcycle accidents. Shout out to everybody who's out there riding. Make sure you ride responsibly. A lot of people lost their life this weekend, on the holiday weekend. I want to give a shout out to all the service members who fight for our freedom. I appreciate you. So today, we're going to talk about the Bandidos and the war that started out there in Texas. But before we get to that, we got some other things to talk about. First, we're going to talk about this guy. Who's this guy? He is the former police chief who was arrested on the R word and a murder, and he escaped from prison. Ex-police chief serving murder and R sentence escapes from Arkansas prison in a disguise. Grant Hardin, 56, escaped from North Central Unit Prison on Sunday afternoon, police say. Former Arkansas, is that how you say it? Arkansas police chief serving decades in prison for first-degree murder and R escaped from prison on Sunday in a makeshift law enforcement uniform. Arkansas Department of Corrections officials said in a statement, Grant Hardin, 56, former Gateway police chief, escaped at about 3:40 p.m. from North Central Unit in Calico Rock, officials said. As of Sunday night, the search for Hardin continues. On Monday, Rand Champion, a corrections department spokesman, said in an interview that the investigation is ongoing using a lot of different matters, including K9 units, drones. He added the rainy weather on Monday is making it difficult to search. Another challenge is Hardin's background in law enforcement, what makes it a little bit trickier, he said, because he may be familiar with all the tactics that they are using, Champion said. However, the officials believe Hardin could be nearby. We feel confident based on information that we have that and just the experience of our tracking crews that he is fairly close to the unit. So who knows? This is insane. So here's a picture of him escaping. He was able to put on a disguise and make himself look like a police officer, and he just walks away. I mean, you can't make this up. You can't. Things are getting crazier and crazier out there. Here's another picture of him. This guy was the police chief. Like, oh, man. I mean, does it get any crazier? Yes. Yes, it does. So, this looks like a normal house, right? Normal house. You know, you're going to open your pool for the holiday weekend. Here's a pool that was opening. Guess what they found in the pool? New York homeowners uncovering a pool for the summer finds a body floating in the water. A homeowner on Long Island made a shocking discovery when uncovering his pool this summer, finding a body floating in the water after pulling off his pool cover. At East Shoreham, New York, homeowner called 911 Sunday afternoon after making a disturbing find of a man's body in a pool. He did not wish to comment on Monday, though. Neighbors are now trying to figure out who the person may have been and what could have happened. I don't know why somebody would have tried to get under the pool cover. It's not a smart thing to do, said a neighbor. I really wouldn't be happy opening up my pool going to find that. Police said in Suffolk County that the medical examiner will try to determine the victim's identity and how long and how he may have died. Investigators are still looking into whether the person found may have been a 23-year-old Matthew Zoll, a fugitive from the law. Police believe he stabbed his 61-year-old father to death at Rocky Point, New York, in the home in November. But Zoll has been on the run ever since. The East Shoreman is not that far away from Rocky Point. It's very strange. We all thought he just left town, got on a train or a bus, a woman said, adding that police spent several weeks searching for Zoll in the fall, but he was never found. So here's another article. Long Island cops probing whether the corpse found in a backyard pool was a fugitive murder suspect who fatally stabbed his father months earlier. Long Island homeowner summer kicked off to a horrifying turn Sunday evening after lifting his pool cover in East Shoreham backyard, discovering a body that police reportedly investigating as a possible being the fugitive murder suspect Matthew Zoll. Here, I got a picture of him. That's him on the top right. So sources say Suffolk County police are now looking whether to confirm the body is 23-year-old killer investigating the cause of death. Officials wouldn't confirm whether this is their leading theory. The homicide unit was actively investigating that the medical examiner's office is performing an autopsy to determine the cause of death and confirm the victim's identity. This is a crazy situation. Zoll, who was reportedly schizophrenic, is the main suspect in November murder, allegedly stabbing his 61-year-old dad, a postal worker, Joseph Zoll, to death inside the home on Rocky Point. He then frantically fled the home, crashing his car on the William Ford Parkway about 10 minutes after the alleged killing, leaving the totaled car and escaping on foot. U.S. Marshals spent several days scouring a wooded area off the parkway, including 1,600 acres in Brookhaven State Park, in an intense search for Zoll following the deadly crash, but ultimately came up short. The backyard where the body was found borders the wooded lot that runs behind 4 homes, leads straight to William Ford Parkway. I say it's possibly him. Could be. Sources claim cops now believe Zoll may have traveled about half a mile into the backyard where he could have tried to hide underneath the winter pool covering before dying of various causes, including drowning, pneumonia, or hypothermia, suffocation, and more. Who knows? When more details come out in this case, I will let you know. Lindsay, what's going on? Thank you for joining me today. Thank you. 15,300 subscribers. Very proud. For all you guys that watch, I appreciate every single person that watches this show. We got a lot to talk about today. So today, we're talking about the Bandidos. You guys know the crazy case that's going on down there in Houston. So let's get into it. Welcome to hell. The war that burned through Houston. It began with a patch, a bottom rocker, the word Texas stitched in defiance, and ended with bullets and blood. From late night bars to city intersections, country roads, Houston bore witness to a war few saw coming, and even fewer would survive. The Bandidos, one of America's most notorious outlaw motorcycle gangs, had declared war for nearly 5 years. They fought it like soldiers without borders. The FBI would later describe it as the most violent biker war in recent history. Calculated campaign of murder, intimidation, firebombs. But men who lived it, it wasn't war, it was domination. In 2020, the streets of Houston changed. An order was given by a man known only as Money Mike. Smash on sight. Any man wearing the wrong patch, especially those who rode under Brothers East banner, known as Beast, became a target. Beast had dared to claim their own identity, rejecting Bandido's authority, wearing Texas on their backs. And that was all it took. The Bandidos were born in 1966, forged in the heat of Texas rebellion. They called themselves Bandido Nation. They didn't ask for power. They took it. And now they had created a chapter with a mission. And the name of that chapter was Welcome to Hell. On September 26, 2020, the bikini contest at Hog Stop Bar and Grill was supposed to be a party, but it ended in murder. The night, a confrontation turned violent. Ronnie Meathead McCabe made the first move, confronting Beast members who'd entered what he called Bandido turf. Soon, Big John Perfer threw the first punch. The chaos that followed was swift, organized, and merciless. Adam Burns was dragged to the ground, punched, stomped. Then Roy Repo Gomez pulled a gun. One shot, one death. One war fully ignited. May 19, 2021. At the intersection of US 290 in Bengal, Javier Martinez waited for light to change. He never saw the shooters. 3 bikes surrounded him. Gunfire rang out. He died in the street beside his Harley. His Beast sticker still visible. There were no arrests, no charges, but the FBI agents would later allege the Bandito named Bradley Dollar Bill Rickenbacker was there. The war left no time for mourning, only momentum. Fall 2021. With blood on their hands and purpose in their hearts, the Bandidos birthed a new unit. Welcome to Hell was not bound by geography. It was bound by blood oaths. Purfer named the president. Rickenbacker kept the books. Other members like Darby, 10 Rounds, and David Breakcheck Vargas formed Ruthless Core. They trafficked drugs, carried blackout bags, and rode under one flag. Annihilation. The war machine was now official. November 3rd, 2021, they followed the beast from Clubhouse Meeting to the Blue Bayou Cafe in East Houston. As the rivals smoked outside, a black SUV pulled alongside them. Gunshots rang out. Michael John Zimbra was killed instantly. His brothers were wounded. One lived. They recognized the shooter. It was enough to indicate Vargas. It was enough to indict Vargas. The state case would later collapse when the witness vanished. Another body, another unsolved crime, another chapter written in the fire. February 22nd, 2023. Even allies weren't safe. At Bimbo's Saloon, the Bandidos turned on the Graybeards, a support club that had dared to talk peace with the beasts. 100 men gathered. 14 Graybeards were beaten and stripped of their vest. Humiliation that in the biker culture was worse than death. We're shutting you down. FBI agent Joshua Lyons would later testify that was a message. The war had consumed them all. Reality star contestant Brandon Loco Hans once played to win the Survivor off screen. He joined the Bandidos, and on December 14, 2023, he allegedly lit the match that torched Country Line Ice House, a bar that hosted Beast members. The blaze gutted the building. The business never reopened. Later, Hans claimed he left the Bandidos. The gang said they wanted him dead for it. By the summer of 2024, the federal government moved. Arrests begun in August. By February 20th, 2025, the full weight of the U.S. Department of Justice came crashing down. 14 men were indicted under RICO, the same law that they used to bring the mafia down. Charges include murder, racketeering, arson, attempted execution. The Bandidos sought to establish a monopoly. Acting U.S. Attorney Nicholas Ganji said, and they did it through fear. 9 of the accused remain behind bars awaiting trial. The rest of them are out on bond. Shadows of war, not yet over. October 2025, the courtroom will be the final arena for the families of the dead. The city scarred by violence. No verdict will undo the carnage. Houston survived the war. The question is, who will survive the truth? And that is the war in Houston. It's a pretty crazy story. And it's not over yet. Damn it, Mandy. How are you? Thank you for joining me today. Yeah, it's a pretty wild story, and it's definitely not over. It's basically just beginning. This trial is going to be huge. And we'll see what happens. We'll see who ends up cooperating, who doesn't. It's going to be a pretty insane thing when these guys start going on trial. So there's been so many motorcycle crashes. It's like every single day I see all these crashes. If you're driving a car, make sure you're aware of your surroundings. I think people think they can like pull out in front of motorcycles because they're going to stop. They're going to stop faster or something. No. Listen, if you see a motorcycle, give it space. Let them go by. That's how a lot of people end up dying. They get cars pull out in front of them. So this is a pretty crazy story. Bel Air, the village of Bel Air, observed Memorial Day at Union Square Park. U.S. Navy veteran John Dixie Purdyman, a member of the American Legion, Post 52, a disabled American veteran, Chapter 117, organized the ceremony. When speaking about putting the event together each year, he jokes that he thinks he inherited the responsibility a number of years ago, but isn't sure how that happened. When you have good help, it's easy, but all you have to do is call, and things will fall into line, he said. He added that sometimes he doesn't even have to make a call. The community steps up and shares responsibility and supports its veterans. As he was saying, a convoy of Grim Reaper motorcycle club members arrived at the ceremony to show their support. I don't even have to ask them about this, and they come and support, he said. In addition to the Grim Reapers and the Bel Air resident, Shady Side resident Paul Smothers attended the ceremony to show support by carrying a large American flag before it arrived at the event. Smothers did a 42.2-minute walk in memory of those left behind in Desert Storm. He said that each second of the walk was to honor each man and woman that we had lost. The walk began at the Gazebo Union Square Park, stretching to the 32 Garsney Street and back. Smothers said this is the 5th year he has done that walk, and he used to do it wheeling, but decided to move it to in wheeling. He used to do it in wheeling. Jesus. Perfect timing. Hold on a second. Let me shut this off, or it'll never stop. He used to do it in Wheeling, but decided to move it to Bel Air this year since he's a Belmont country resident. The main speaker at the ceremony was U.S. Army veteran and former Bel Air Police Chief Bob Wallace. He began by offering his appreciation for all the veterans in attendance. He then spoke about how it is crucial for the younger generation of the veterans to join the American Legions, VFWs, and other veteran organizations to ensure the group's future. We are having a bit of a crisis with membership because of the age of most of the people, particularly here in attendance. We're getting older and older. We need more people to fill the spots. We need more people to provide services like this and others to support the efforts for the community. So we welcome all veterans who are eligible to join one of these organizations and other smaller ones. For those that may not be technically able, we have auxiliary. We ask for you to consider being a part of that effort so that we can continue to give back to the communities that have done so much for us, Wallace said. Putterman later echoed Wallace's statement. It is very important to try to get young people out and get involved. Because the way the earth is, things are going now, it's tough because you watch TV and you hear this side or that side, and it's a hassle, Putterman said. Wallace closed his speech by talking about the Revolutionary War and reminding the residents in attendance of the sacrifices it takes to be free. He said the veterans at the time made the sacrifice for the country to have freedom, and every veteran after that has made the sacrifice for his country to keep its freedom. As most of you know, one of the most cherished things about our Constitution is the right to bear arms, which was stripped away from me. But that's all right. I guess I deserved it, right? But in England, to substitute us, they choose to take our shot powder and musket. And 250 years ago, so I guess England tried to take the guns away. They tried to take the shot powder and the musket. And 250 years ago, just last month, April 18th, they marched out of Boston for the 16-mile to Lexington and then to Concord to confiscate the powder and musket balls, which could be used against them. But see, the colonists were aware of what was going on. And they had intelligence. They knew that the British redcoats were going to march against them. I'm sure that you've heard of the term about the lantern hung in the old North Church House. I've been there too. Who else has been at the old North Church in Boston? It's a pretty creepy place. It's in the north end of Boston. I love being up there. It is 1 by land, 2 by sea, and waiting already. There were 2 patriots, 2 members of the Sons of Liberty, 2 riders, Paul Revere and Samuel Prescott, and the one that took off on horseback, and the other that crossed the Charles River to spread the word that those people had to pledge to be ready for the moment's notice. They were the so-called Minutemen of the American Revolution. And the Redcoats marched all night, 16 miles, which is like from Bel Air to downtown Poton Point. They marched all night. At daybreak, they met in Lexington, and the militia stood there, eyeball to eyeball, and a shot was fired. And when the smoke cleared, 1 British dead and 8 American patriots dead. 8 patriots, first to die, so that we can be here today, Wallace said. So damn, if you really think about it, they really did fight for our freedom. They sacrificed their life so that we can have a better life today. Hey, what's going on? Biker News Canada. Thank you for joining me today. So many other day, it was horrible. Shut down the highway for hours. I know it is crazy. Doug, what's going on? How are you? I will email you, man. Like I said, I need assistance. I mean, myself. Yeah, just email me, man. We'll figure it out. Shout out to Bob for Biker News Canada. Make sure you guys go subscribe to Biker News Canada. He has great content. Talks a lot about different events that are going on. He's got content like no other out there. Really good stuff. And if you or someone you know is a veteran, thank you for your service. I appreciate all you guys. Well, listen, brother, you have a good day here. And while we fight, we shall be one country, North America. It's called correct, not lower, above. Let's come together like we should have. 100%, Doug. Yeah, people are really separated nowadays, and it's a terrible thing. But hey, you can't change those the crazies. So we got some shows coming up this week. Guilty by association. The Hells Angels gambling probe. We're going to talk about that. It's a Canadian thing. Speaking of Biker News Canada. Raven, how are you? So we're going to talk about guilt by association. The Hells Angels gambling probe. Also, I'm going to be doing a show about clubs with the same name. There is a lot of motorcycle clubs that have the same exact name. So we're going to talk about this unique situation and how does this happen? There are a lot of different reasons why clubs have the same name. And we're going to talk about it coming up this week on Chattin with Staxx. If you haven't checked out the show from last night, make sure you check it out. It's pretty crazy. There will be more on the way. And people were talking about that the Breed Motorcycle Club was gone and it was no more. Well, I got news for you. The Breed is back. That's right. The motorcycle club, The Breed, is right here, flying colors on the American highways. So they are not gone like people thought. They're back. How you doing, Raven? I'm doing great. Thank you for joining me today. Hey, Bob. Got my membership from One Broken Biker. Good stuff. Being a member. Hell yeah. Make sure you guys hit the like button. Go check out Patreon. There's a lot of content over there. Tonight is part 5, I think, of Boston 2%. It's a crazy story. If you guys want to hear the whole story with no interruptions, just join the membership. If you guys can't afford a membership, I understand. And they will be out every day. Another piece comes out. Tonight is part 4. Part 4 is tonight of the Boston 2%. Part 5 is tomorrow. There's 10 parts to this series. And we got more coming up with Bob. Thank you for gifting a membership, Doug. I really appreciate that. It really means a lot. Thank you. I know there's a way for me to give memberships, and I don't know how to do it, but I'm going to try. I'm going to try to work on that. There's some way for me to do it, to go into things so that I can give memberships for people. I just don't know how to do it. I appreciate all you guys. Thank you guys for joining me today. We got a lot more content on the way. King Dom got the membership. Thank you. Go check out the exclusive content on the members only. And make sure you subscribe to Biker News Canada. I hope you guys have a great day. Be safe out there if you're riding motorcycles. Make sure you're aware of your surroundings. Don't trust cars. Because you can't. You cannot trust cars that they're not going to pull out in front of you, because they will. We'll see what happens with all this Bandidos craziness. And I'm going to put something together. And it'll be a little more detailed than what I read for you guys today. There'll be pictures and everything to go along with it. I'm working on something, so Hope you guys like this content. I appreciate all you guys taking the time. There's a lot more content to go. We're not done with the Iron Reigns. We're still talking about them. Part 2 should be out in the next couple days. I appreciate all you guys checking out the show. Hit the like button, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you could get my videos every time they drop. And if you don't like this show, you already know what to do. Start your own fucking podcast. I appreciate all you guys. And remember, don't be a bitch.
And all new at 5, a major organized crime bust. 23 people under arrest now accused of stealing guns and cash.
Today, police revealed 4 organized crime groups are wreaking havoc.
From aggravated robbery to kidnapping, burglary, and more. Let's take a look at this. New pictures from court documents in this case. These are a few of the people who have been charged. And investigators say the money, tens of thousands of dollars, is all stolen.